What is going on, everybody? I'm back today to talk about a holiday horror film that is a little bit older. I actually mentioned it recently on one of my lists of favorite holiday horror films because when I saw this movie the year that it was released, I really enjoyed it. It took me by surprise. I thought it had a lot of great twists and turns, some really excellent performances, but I hadn't seen it since it was released. I think this came out 2015, 2016, sometime in that range. And I've been really excited to revisit it ever since I watched it the very first time. And it was streaming on Prime Video. I felt like sitting down and giving it a watch again. And the movie I'm going to be talking about with you today is Better Watch Out. Better Watch Out is directed by Chris Peckover. On a quiet suburban street tucked within a safe neighborhood, a babysitter must defend a 12-year-old boy from strangers breaking into the house, only to discover that it is far from a normal home invasion. So, as I said, I'd seen this film before, really enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and I still really enjoyed it this time around. It is far from perfect, but I think it really succeeds in the performances. I think the overall execution of the film is really great, and it's also very thoughtful. I'm excited to talk to you about it today. So, at the beginning of the film, we're introduced to Ashley, who is a babysitter, who we see her out driving in this community, and she's about to move from the place that she lives, but she's going to do one last job babysitting this young kid, Luke, who she has babysitted for most of his life, and she wants to do it to be able to say goodbye to the family before she moves out. So she gets to the house. We find out that Luke's parents are going to some event, and she's staying there to watch them overnight. And we can tell that Luke has strong feelings for Ashley, and he wants to convey those feelings to her. And he's there with his friend Garrett, who the two of them are kind of goofing off and joking together. Garrett ends up leaving, and most of the beginning of the movie is the two of them hanging out and Luke really kind of fawning for her and really trying to do everything that he can to get her attention. But they have a pretty big age discrepancy. I'm assuming she's like 17, 18, and he, I think, says in the movie that he's 12 going on 13. And shortly after that, they're watching a movie and they start hearing sounds outside, and someone tries to break into the house. And at the beginning of the film, it's the two characters trying to fight for survival from whoever is breaking into the house. So that is pretty much the base level plot description without giving away any spoilers. I'm going to start out talking about this movie without any spoilers, but towards the end of the video, I am going to give away spoilers to talk about the movie in depth a little bit more. But at base level, I think this movie is really entertaining. And the reason why it's really entertaining is I really like the setup of the movie. It feels like something we've seen before, and it turns into this home invasion film. And I felt like it was going a direction of a lot of movies that I've seen in the past. But what makes this movie so great is it pivots completely after about 25-30 minutes and turns into something completely different. And whenever you're going for a tonal shift in a movie, you have to hope the audience will go on that ride with you. And what I like about Better Watch Out is it's really easy because of the way that the characters are written, because of the cinematography, because of the buildup of suspense. It's very easy to kind of follow this story and shift with the characters to kind of see where it's going to go. And I think it's executed really well. I love the fact that this movie is really kind of mean-spirited, similar to like Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat or like Krampus that he made, movies centered around the holidays that have kind of a mean, nasty nature to them. I like that. I like those contrasting feelings because Christmas is supposed to be this really happy, joyous holiday, and to create something that feels so kind of evil and menacing around that time of year, it's impressive. And I think this movie is definitely worth checking out. But I do want to talk about the movie in more detail, and there's no real way for me to talk about the movie in more detail without spoiling the entire twist. So if you've never seen Better Watch Out before, stop the video here, go watch the movie, and then come back and watch the rest of it. If you don't care about the movie being spoiled, then continue to watch. So the big twist in Better Watch Out is the break-in that is going on is actually Luke's friend Garrett, who was at the house early on. He comes into the house. They're essentially like, he's carrying around a shotgun and wearing a mask, and Ashley freaks out when she finds out that it's Garrett. it. And she says, I can't believe that you would do this just so that you could look like you were saving my life, to Luke, because he's trying to get her to like him. And she's just like, this is the most pathetic and embarrassing thing ever. And he ends up throwing her down the stairs and knocking her out and then tying her to a chair. And most of the movie is him tormenting her and really treating her horrible because she didn't want to be with him, and going as far as to like call her boyfriend over to bring him into the picture, and really just kind of being an evil human being in every single way. And I really appreciate that a lot. And it's funny because whenever I read reviews about this movie, people are very mean about the subject matter, and they're like, oh my god, this guy is such an incel and he's a terrible person. And it's like, yes, that is the entire point of the movie. He's supposed to be evil. He is representative of everything horrible in a human being. This is a kid who, even at 12 and 13 years old, tries to act like that because of the experiences that he's had when he's younger, or his parents were mean to him or something like that, that it gives him an excuse to act out and be a horrible person, and it gives him an excuse to get everything that he wants. And there are so many people like that in this world who think that just because of what they've been through, or who they think they are as a person, that they are deserved to be handed everything that they want. And that's not the case. And what I love about this movie is the kid who plays Luke is the most obnoxious, annoying little brat that I've ever seen in a movie. And he's so well casted, and that actor does such a great job, even with like the little voice cracks in there that you get from a teenager, just to make him more annoying. And you honestly want him dead in the first 30 minutes of the movie. And I think it's really impressive from the director to kind of make you hate this character so much, but force you to be with him on this entire journey of the film. It's really trying to get under your skin and trying to really convey that message of like, this kid is horrible. He's awful. He thinks he deserves the world, and he doesn't deserve anything. And I like that. And I think it really kind of shows just toxic people that we can often be surrounded by at the holidays, where there are people in this world who feel that way, that they feel like they should get everything and that they're emotionally manipulative. And I think the sociopathic tendencies of that character in this movie, they're really interesting to watch. I really like the practical effects in this. You could tell that for the budget, they do the best that they're able to do. There's one scene in particular where they reenact the Home Alone paint can thing, and obviously they didn't have the budget to kind of show what would happen, but I think the implication of it and the way that it's shot really gives you that visceral, guttural reaction as to what it would actually be like if someone hurled a paint can at you from a set of stairs. And what I really like is our lead actress who plays Ashley in this does such a great job with her facial expressions through this movie, because she spends a lot of it tied to a chair, and we can just kind of see her complete irritation with this kid, and just like, my god, I just want to get back at him, and the fear and the terror that she experiences as well. You're just kind of along the ride with her the whole run of the movie, and I really like that a lot. And it takes so many different twists and turns throughout the entire back half of the movie that there were so many times, even in revisiting it this time around, that my jaw was on the floor. I was not ready for what they were throwing at me, and I appreciate that from these filmmakers. And like I said, my favorite part about this movie is just kind of the cynical nature of it all. I think that holiday movies that are willing to kind of look at the holiday season for what it can be, instead of like glamorizing it to this, it's always sunshine and everything around this time of year. It's not. And some of the best holiday movies for me are horror films that are kind of centered around the holidays, and this one is no exception. I do think that the pacing could be a little bit better. There's a couple of scenes in it that feel a little recycled, and that the dialogue feels very similar, but I think for the most part it's a brisk, like, hour-and-a-half runtime movie that's a lot of fun. If you've never seen Better Watch Out before, I'd highly recommend checking it out. So if you've seen Better Watch Out, did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really entertaining. I didn't know what to expect in this revisit, whether I would still like it the same amount, and I very much did. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.